Hey everybody, this is Crystal with Crystal's Diversa Creations. So my best friend, she just started doing Cricut maybe about, I think it's been about 2 months now. And she's been subscribed to the channel, and she's seen me doing some sublimation. So she's extremely interested and excited in getting into sublimation. So she's been asking me a whole bunch of questions, and I said, you know what? If you have questions, I'm sure others do too. So why don't I just do a video so that you can figure out how to get started with the sublimation. So what I'm going to do in this video is just give you what I know as far as getting started with sublimation, and then I'll try to put all the links for the things that I have or that I'm using in the description. So first off, if you're going to be doing sublimation, you need to have a printer. So I'm going to take you over to my printers, and I actually have 3 sublimation printers, but now I'm basically using 1. So I started off with the Epson 7710, and I watched the guy Caps on Fire. He shows you how to convert them. I moved from the 7710 up to the 7720. Both of these printers are very difficult to find, but more than that, they're very difficult to use as far as sublimation. So I would steer clear of those. I now primarily use the Epson ET, which is the Eco Tanks, and I have the ET15000. This is the one that I chose because it can print up to 13 by 19 in the back, 11 by 14 in the back, and the tray holds 8.5 by 11. Now, you can get any of the Eco Tank printers. You just may be limited as to how large you can print. I think the majority of them do allow you to print the 11 by 14 because that's just going into your back feeder, and the 8.5 by 11 is what you would typically use. What makes these so much easier to use as opposed to the HPs is because with these you have cartridges, like, you know, what we used to, where you put in your printer and you put it in there. Well, these, when I had it at least, what you have to do with it is to fill the ink into the cartridge, and it gets messy. You don't know when the ink is low. You get this big project, and now you ran out of ink, and now you got to go through all of this to get it in there, and then it's cleaned, and it takes a long time to get it just so. With the Eco Tanks, you have your ink levels right here. You can keep an eye on them. It's just much easier when you get your bottles, and I'll show you those. You just flip it over inside of here. Once you flip it over, it knows when it's full. It stops putting ink in. It's very clean. It's very quick. It's very precise. I just much rather have an Eco Tank printer as opposed to the HPs. Next, of course, you'll need a press. The press needs to go up to 400 degrees because that's what you typically sublimate on. Sometimes you're sublimating at 385, but you need a press. I had a smaller press, like 15 by 15, I think it was. I upgraded. This is from Heat Press Nation. Has the pull-out drawer, and this one right here is 16 by 20. This is good because you can put a whole shirt on here. You don't want to, like, unlike HTV, when you come down with that press, you want to do it all in one press so that you aren't getting dark spots or light spots, where with HTV, you just kind of come down and go and move your shirt and do it over. You kind of want all of your design being pressed at one time, if at all possible, unless there's a way to get that shirt off or that piece off and only leaving on what needs to be re-sublimated. So that's why I went with the larger press. And again, this is a 16 by 20 from Heat Press Nation. This is the auto open. And so then I have my butcher paper on here. You cover your bottom, and then when you put your blank on, whatever it is, you cover that. If it's a small blank, you can use a sheet of paper, regular copy paper. If it's a shirt or something, you're going to want to use butcher paper, or I'm going to show you the U-Haul wrapping paper that I use as well. So this is the butcher paper, and I keep mine on a roller because it just makes cutting it when you gotta, it just makes it much easier. So I will put the link for this stand in the description as well. When I was talking about the U-Haul paper, I have had this for so long. I literally just bought a new box, and I still have some in here. And these sheets are extremely large. They cover the whole press, the whole piece. Sometimes you can actually, if it's small enough, you can take this one sheet of paper, you can literally fold it in half, and you only need the one sheet to be both your top and your bottom. Also, when you ball this up, it makes a lot less trash. So if you've ever been using this butcher paper, it's heavy, and that's good on some items, but you got to tear each piece, and when you ball it up, it makes a lot of trash. This is much lighter. You're getting 200 sheets for $9.95 from your local U-Haul, and that's a whole lot of subbing, y'all. So, but at the same time, you do use a lot of paper, so this is a really, really good. So far we talked about the printer and the press and the papers, your paper options. So next we're going to talk about your actual sublimation paper. So this is my favorite. If you're just playing around, you can actually use copier paper as well. So if you just want to kind of see how the color is going to come out, you can use copier paper. But I promise you, it's a great distinction between the colors if you're using copier paper and the A-Sub. But like if it's something that's doesn't really matter, or you're just sampling it or something, don't waste your paper, go on and get that. But this is from Amazon. I have it in the 8.5 by 11, 11 by 14, and the 13 by 19. It's a good weight. It feeds to the printer really, really nicely, and the color is amazing. So this is basically the only sublimation paper that I use. I want to say this one here for, what is it? For, I don't know, 110 sheets. So it's 110 sheets here, and I want to say this is something like $18.95. Don't quote me, but it's like $18.95. The ink that we talked about, I use this Supreme color, and surprisingly, when me and my girlfriend Janine were actually putting stuff in her cart yesterday, this, I paid $20-something for it when I brought it last. It was on Amazon. The day is 4th of July and 2021. It was $11.45. So I actually grabbed 2 more. And so basically they're like this size bottles, but they last a good while. With the Eco Tank, the Eco Tank, and you would syringe these if you're using it in a HP. If you're using the Eco Tanks, your Eco Tank comes with ink cartridge, a little bit of ink in these bottles. So they just get flipped upside down, and then they automatically stop. So what you do if you buy your Eco Tank is you empty out the inks. I mean, just basically, if you have like a laundry room, you can go in there, dump out that ink that it came with, because the ink that it came with is for your standard printing, but you need the bottle. They've since started making them already sublimation ink in these bottles. I think we saw it yesterday, it was like $37. So I'm gonna go with you already got the bottle, get you some $11 ink, and there you have it. And plus, these don't really hold that much ink, where you could put a whole bottle of ink inside of these. So anyhow, you rinse this out. Once it's rinsed out, you go ahead and you fill up, of course, matching the colors. Fill up your colors. And now all of mine are pre-filled with sublimation ink, and they're just waiting to fill it up before I print again this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and fill all of my inks up because I see they're down a tad bit. So that's your ink. And again, it's the color that I use. There are so many other options for ink. There's options for everything that I'm telling you about, but these are the things that I use. So now that you have your project, you've decided what you're going to sublimate on, whether it's going to be a garment or whether it's going to be some type of substrate that might be a keychain or an air freshener. I'm going to actually do a video on that, I think, sometime later today, because I got some air fresheners that I want to do. I need one for my car. So any of those types of things. Now you need to get your lint roller after you've situated it on the on your heat press, and you're going to roll it. The rule of thumb that I use is that if you are doing a shirt, you should use one of these. You know how they come in like the triangles, like kind of slit. So you peel off one and then use a second one, because any lint that's left behind on a sublimation item will turn the gases. The gases is what actually goes into your items to make it sublimation. What'll happen is it will turn those hairs, those fibers, those threads to blue. And then you have like little blue speckles like everywhere. And that's frustrating because sublimation items tend to be pretty expensive. And so you don't want to ruin them. And then you'll be like, I don't really like to sublimate. Well, no, it does take practice. So make sure that you are cleaning up your items. Even if you're using a mug, you want to make sure that you're cleaning it up, removing all of your lint. The other thing that you're going to need, now that you've cleaned up this item, you are going to take the image, place it face down, and you're going to tape it down. You don't want to use a whole ton of tape, but you don't want to be so scarce that the image shifts or lifts, because that's where ghosting comes in. And what ghosting is when you see a little mirror image of the original image, and so it's like almost like double vision or blurry effect, and it's ever so slight, but you see it and you know it's there. And if you're selling it to somebody, you just cannot in that condition. So be generous with the amount of tape that you use, but just don't overdo it. And also, because you're going to generally have this item sitting near, you need a tape dispenser, because you're going to be like trying to get your tape and you ain't got time to get scissors and cut it. You just want to be able to go like and take off a piece, and you don't need much bigger than pieces like this. So if you gotta, if you got this, you don't want to go back and now you got to cut it with scissors. You can literally put it on here, and if you needed to, you cut it down to 2. So you definitely need a tape dispenser. The tape dispenser, I want to say, was like $10.41. Tape itself is about $6.99. You can get all different kinds, because you really need, this is a good overall size to just have. So if you have this width, this is good. I want to say it's like a 1/2 inch, but this is a good size tape. But then they have variety packs where they come wider and skinnier. So you just want to get the tape that you think will cover most of your projects. I think that's it. So it's not the most difficult thing, but it is definitely one of the most rewarding to be able to take an image and sublimate on it and come out with something that's really unique, so colorful. And you can't get that with HTV. You just cannot. So like, this is actually something I did on wood, and I sublimated it, and then I put it on lamination paper. But this is the type of images that you're going to get when you sublimate. If you did HTV, you're not going to get that kind of an image. Here you have a mouse pad. Same thing. You take that same image, you put it down, you get your good crisp colors and effects. So the types of things that you can sublimate on are just endless. To be quite honest, it's really endless. So if you're looking to get into it, I hope that these tips and suggestions help you to go along your way into sublimation. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down in the comment section, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. But definitely, when you're getting into it, Also join some Facebook groups where they have like sublimation for beginners, because they'll be talking about all of the things that interest you and will help you to get along on your way. But there is so much to do in the world of sublimation, and it's a big money maker as well. I mean, you can do memorial items, you can do tumblers, because once you have all of the equipment to sublimate, then it's just a matter of getting a toaster oven and go ahead and stick it in the oven. You know, that's a little bit more of a process, but you get the concept. You can do mugs, you can do like I said, air fresheners, you can do ties. You can just, there's so much that you can sublimate. You just go look on Amazon. You can do pillows, you can do sweatshirts. The main thing that you have to bear in mind about sublimation is that you can't sublimate on dark colors. Like you can't sublimate on a black shirt. Also, you can't sublimate on a cotton shirt. Only your items should be polyester. Sometimes you can sublimate on microfibers. Sometimes you can sublimate on sequins. So there's some things that you can sublimate on. Surprisingly enough, you can sublimate on white glitter HTV by Sizer. I don't know how, but you can. So those types of things are just things that you learn, tricks of the trades that you learn as you continue on. But one of the things that I learned with sublimating is that when they say it should be 100% polyesters, because the polyester fibers absorb the gases and the inks that are put off from Sublimation Ink. So if you used a Walmart has George's t-shirts, and the George's t-shirts are 65% polyester, 35% something else. So as long as it's 65 or above, but what that also means is that you're not going to get as vibrant of a color. Going to get a good color, but it's not going to be as vibrant because it is only getting 65% of the ink that you are offloading on some item. So you're going to get 65% of the ink on a 65% polyester item. If you want the most ink and you want the brightest, the most vibrant colors, you want to be using 100% polyester shirts. Cricut shirts, amazing. You use Cricut shirts every day. They just are so nice. They often have sales. I keep them stocked. I keep them stocked because they just sub so well. They come in onesies, they come in toddlers, they come in women's, they come in children's, they come in men, they come v-neck, they come round neck, and they sell them in white and gray. But if you keep an eye on their site, you can oftentimes catch them on a sale. If you already subscribe to Design Space, then you get an additional 10% off on your order. So that's something that I highly recommend. They don't always have them. Like if you don't buy a few in advance just to keep on stock, it's rare that you can walk into the store and get the exact size that you need, because they just don't stock them that well in Michael's, Joann's, or anywhere I've looked. Sometimes, like I said, you can go to Walmart, you can get them. And then now that this is what you want to get into, start to look around and look at your items. Five Below has a lot of things. Believe it or not, you could sublimate on books. There was a journal that Five Below had that you could sublimate on. The Dollar Store Bible, you could sublimate on. I don't know why, but you can. And then, like I said, join your groups, because that's where people are going to be talking about what's in your regular stores that you can actually go grab and sublimate on. So again, I hope this helps. If there's anything that I didn't cover, please let me know. I can do an additional video. But I just know that this is a craze, and I know when I wanted to jump into it, I was just hungry for information. I hope that, this does at least address some of your questions. Thanks for watching Crystal's Diversa Creations. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can receive future notifications when videos come out. Thank you.